According to the school shooting database, nearly 350 incidents happened at U.S. schools in 2023. Knowing that, law enforcement is doing their part to be ready for anything. News 4's Will Polston was in Geneva County today as police were learning how to be prepared.
More than 100 law enforcement officials from across Alabama and the Florida Panhandle are in Geneva today to receive some additional training. The course helps law enforcement profile dangerous people and predict violent situations, going over warning signs to look for that could indicate a threat. According to criminal profiler Phil Chalmers, the two things that can make a situation dangerous are time and access. In addition to indicators, the course covered how to establish a safety plan if the situation arises.
So hopefully it'll make our schools safer. It'll make it better for law enforcement to be able to work with our school administrators and our school staff to recognize these pre-indicators and to try to solve some issues before they become problems.
The Geneva Police Chief Pepper Mock wants to thank the Wiregrass Resource Conservation and Development Council, saying that thanks to a grant from them, this would not be possible. In Geneva, Will Polston for your hometown news leader.